Jackie Kay is one of Britain's best-known poets. Born in Edinburgh to a Scottish mother and Nigerian father, she was adopted as a baby. Her varied heritage inspired her first book of poetry, The Adoption Papers. Subsequent works include her collections of poems, Other Lovers, Off Colour and Life Mask, her epic poem, The Lamplighter, and her first novel, Trumpet, which won the Guardian Prize for Fiction. She's published 2 short story collections, Wish I Was Here and Why Don't You Stop Talking. She was also awarded an MBE for services to literature in 2006. Theatre Live went to meet Jackie at her home in Manchester to discuss her new play Mind Away, written in collaboration with her son, about a woman struggling with dementia.
I started writing when I was really young, so I'm one of those people that's been doing it all my life. I kept little notebooks, and I liked having little notebooks that were separate from schoolwork. And I remember I wrote a novel, or tried to write a novel when I was 12, and I called it One Person, Two Names. I grew up in Glasgow, and I was adopted, so my birth father was from Nigeria, and my birth mother was from the Highlands, and I was adopted by a really wonderful my mum and dad, who are absolutely lovely people. But there wasn't a lot of kids my colour, and where I grew up, just me and my brother, and so we did get quite good at sort of fighting back whenever people called us racist names. And actually that was one of the first uses I put poetry to, was writing revenge poems. And I found that poetry, or writing poetry, was a kind of a sanctuary. The imagination is a kind of a den. You can go in there, and inside your imagination you're actually quite powerful. It's really nice to be asked to write a play that's simultaneously going to be on the television, because I love the idea of that. I think it's so brave and bold, and I used to love the old Play for Today. So I like the idea of working in different forms where you get a chance to take whatever it is that you try and be good at and communicate with somebody else, because it's a learning experience. I mean, I've already learned loads from Pip Broughton, who's my fabulous director. I will be nervous on the night. I'll be sitting there and I'll be nervous for the actors, but I'll be thrilled too, because it's a chance to see your work literally come to life in a way that, you know, a lot of the time when you're writing, it's all in your own head. It's all very internal. The theatre is something where you can actually see what the audience's reaction is, and you only get that if you're actually performing your work. I start to work as early as I can, and I find if I do 3 or 4 hours writing a day, that's as much as I'm going to get, and then I might spend the rest of the day reading or editing or reading associatively, because I like reading around the subject that I'm writing about. Like this play, for instance, was about Alzheimer's and dementia. I love the idea of writing something with my son, because we hadn't done that before, and it was a whole new, and I've actually not co-written really at all before. Well, it all works. It's all so believable, you know, the moments when she sort of seems to be slipping away, and then the moment when she gets herself back, and this sort of tenderness.
I think the relationship is very rich, and as an audience member you're changing your mind, you're siding with different ones. I mean, it places you in a very morally ambiguous place, doesn't it?
And it's kind of riveting. I mean, you just didn't want it to end. I was thinking, please don't stop.